Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Alrighty, folks, welcome in and good morning. Welcome to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and we are open today in just about every location that you can imagine. So basically, depending on when you hear the show, Compute This airs live Sunday mornings at 7. And so we are open noon to 5, every location today, except for Des Moines. It's like Chick-fil-A. It's closed on Sunday. And then we'll be reopened on Tuesday. We're going to be closed on Monday for Memorial Day. Then we'll be reopened on Tuesday. So if you want to get something done on your computer, now is an excellent time to come in, because what happens during this time? Obviously, people have things going on. There's graduations, there's vacations starting, there's weekend plans, all kinds of stuff happening. Guess what people are not doing this weekend? They are not bringing their computers in for repair work or maintenance checkups. Even if there's something wrong with it, they're like, it'll be there on Tuesday. I'll take care of it then. So if you have one of those prepaid maintenance coupons and you're that person that can't go more than a day without your computer, it is an outstanding time to bring that in, because this is our slow season officially now, and we'll go through this for, I don't know, maybe another month, and then it starts to pick up again, and it picks up until we hit full stride again for back to school in August. So it's definitely that time of year over at Schrock where the guys are very eager to have something to do, and we get all of our spring cleaning done. We do maintenance checkups on our own systems and servers and update the firewalls and do all the stuff that. Fix the mechanic's car. That's the stuff the mechanic never wants to do. This is the time of year that we take care of all that stuff. All right, so if you'd like to join us on the program today, there's a couple different numbers you can use, 402-558-1110 locally here in Omaha, or 888-250-2091, 888-250-2091. So last week on the program, we told you about a smoking deal on some leftover holiday special monitors. It sounds like, holiday leftovers. Who wants that? Like the fruitcake, No, these are the monitors that came with the holiday specials. Some customers upgraded to 27s. And so when we ordered, boneheaded Thor didn't think that, I ordered the same number of cases as monitors because, it's a complete set, right? Well, if you upgrade from a 24-inch monitor to a 27-inch monitor, suddenly I have an extra 24. And so we ended up with 6, I think, extra 24-inch monitors. And so I know a couple of them have sold since then, but this monitor, the reason it's special and the reason I'm even bringing it up right now is the monitor is selling for $169. Normally they were $300 during the holiday special. So it's a significant discount. We're just trying to clear them out. The monitors have a built-in webcam that's got a tilt and swivel. It's like a camera that is mounted to the top of the monitor. It's got a built-in microphone. So for Zoom meetings, things like that, it is effectively a full quality 1080p camera that we'd normally sell for $150 in the service center, built right into the monitor. Also, the monitor has blue light filtering, it makes it easier on your eyes. And it's not, I don't know if you've ever done that with your cell phone where you turn on blue light filtering and the screen just looks funny. It's not like that. It's a gentle filtering of the harshest blue light, so it lets enough through that the screen looks normal, but it keeps the harshness away from the eyes, helps you focus a little bit better and longer on your screen if that's what you want to do. So we have a few of those left in the service centers over there. Also last week, we told you how you could save money by upgrading your computer rather than buying a new one. Now, a lot of this had to do with what we call a core upgrade. Now, you're all familiar with upgrading. You add a little memory. You put a bigger hard drive in. Maybe you put a better graphics card in. You can play all the new games. Upgrading is upgrading. What we're talking about doing with a core upgrade is literally removing the guts of the computer, like everything, and replacing it all. So effectively, what you're not repurchasing your hard drive, because most people already have a solid state. You're not repurchasing any optical drives like DVD drives, things like that. The case, you're not repurchasing the housing the computer is in. You're also not repurchasing that power supply or any of the circulation fans inside the case, or even in some cases, the CPU fan. All that stuff stays, and we replace the motherboard, the processor, and the memory. And what that does for you is it allows a computer that technically cannot run Windows 11 to be upgraded to a computer that can run Windows 11. Now, we can do that on just about any computer. It gets really kind of touchy on like manufactured computers like Dell's, Alienware, HP, things like that. They get a little touchy because the cases are sometimes custom made for the motherboard. So we have to move you to a new case. And then the extra expense, if we start adding it up, sometimes you are better off just buying a new computer. And we can run that analysis for you if that's something you want to look into. But if you have a modular computer that you bought from us or a custom computer that you bought from just about anybody else, this core upgrade can save you hundreds of dollars over the cost of buying a new computer. Definitely something to consider there. Also, last week, we advised you on how to avoid the latest online scams, especially for the elderly. We gave some really solid tips on that. I've been trying to make some time to clip out some of the segments of the program that are super informative, and I take out all my Thorisms and my random neuron firings, the things that don't seem to have a place there, but all of a sudden, squirrel, there it is, like this right now. That's something that I would edit out. And then basically give you a 3-minute or less version of topic X. So I'm trying to do more of that on the social media accounts to give you the ability to get the meat of the program out of it without having to watch the entire thing if you don't have time to. So if you're not a subscriber, you can hit us up on YouTube. You can search for Schrock Innovations. You can subscribe there. Also on Facebook, if you like and follow us on Facebook, then you'll get alerts when we post these updates, and then you'll be able to watch them at your convenience. All right. Also, last week, Google has a new tool, and I don't remember if I got to this or not, but Google has a new tool to detect the latest AI images. So it's a tool that allows you can take a picture that may have been created by a human, maybe a real picture. The example they used was they asked the AI to create the picture of what the scene would have looked like if the moon landing was fake. And so it said, okay, well, it was probably in a desert. So it gave a desert background. And there was probably a TV crew, and it was filmed around the 60s. So, okay, here's 1960s TV crew. And then there was the capsule. Got to have the capsule. There's the capsule with the ladder and everything. And then, behind it, there were backdrops and stuff like that. And you could see, and they were zoomed out, so you could see like the set. So that's what the AI said it would look like if the moon landing was fake. Now, obviously, if you take that picture of the fake moon landing and just post it on social media, people are going to say, look, I knew it. I knew they staged that in the Nevada desert. Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know why I'm talking like this. So, but that's what they would say. Well, we want to detect that image as fake, right? We want to know what we're looking at is real or fake. So we take that image and we drop it into this Google detection tool, and Google, through the magic of science, can tell us whether or not the image was artificially constructed and pieced together by a computer. So with the 2024 election coming up on us fast here, this kind of a tool could be really, really useful in determining images that are real, images that are not real, images that have been manipulated. So it's a pretty important tool going forward to help us know that what we look at and what we see actually did happen. That's something you have to ask yourself when you see online videos now. Seeing the video is not the same as actually being there anymore, because videos can be completely constructed by AI now, from start to finish. Voices, everything, mannerisms, it can all be auto-generated now. So if you go online and you see a shocking video, oh my gosh, that guy knocked over the display at the Target. You see that happening. Did it really happen? I don't know. So you have to be sure and be careful with what you're coming up against there. Also, happy to report that the swatting at the Papillion Service Center has stopped. That's right. Our good friends at the Papillion Police Department were receiving several calls that somebody was being held captive in the Papillion Service Center. Now, some days I kind of feel that I'm being held captive in one of the service centers. Like, I can't get out of here. Every time I try to leave, I get one more thing-itis. But no, apparently there was a vulnerability in our phone system somewhere that somebody was exploiting to call 911 from one of the phones in the service center, and they would call and hang up, and then call and hang up, and then call and hang up. And then 911 would call back, and then they'd send an officer out just to eyeball it and make sure we didn't have, trafficked children locked in the bathroom or something stupid. And good for them for checking. We appreciate that. And then we figured it out and got it all patched up. So we've been a week and a half now with no swatting in Papillion. So that's a good sign as well. No idea why it was just the Papillion Service Center. All of our phone systems are the same. So I don't understand why that one service center got hit, but it was definitely a new experience for us. Never had that happen before. The police show up at your door. We're getting some 911 calls. Do you have anybody locked in here? Just us workers. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Coming up on the program today, we've got some I haven't talked about Drive Advisor in a long time, and I want to take some time to talk about that because it's on my mind because we actually have active coding happening on Drive Advisor right now. We're going to talk about that a little bit on the program. Also, iOS 15.6 is out. Should you install it on your phone, and what issues are people having when they do install it on the phone? OpenAI, they're the makers of that Chat GPT, that's scaring the heck out of everybody because, my job, it's going to be automated. Well, Europe is laying some super serious, hardcore data protection laws on OpenAI. And OpenAI is like, the cost of complying with everything you want us to do, you're not really that big of a deal, Europe. So your laws are too expensive. So I think we might just leave Europe. And you guys can go suck an egg and make your own AI. And follow all your own rules. Wow. Also, shocking numbers about youth usage of social media. And when I say they're shocking, guys, I mean, I expected high numbers. I didn't expect these numbers about kids and social media. So much so that the Surgeon General has issued a warning. So I don't know if this means now, like when you log into like TikTok, is there going to be like a Surgeon General warning with a picture of like a rotten face or something? Use of TikTok may lead to brain decay. I don't know if that will happen, if there'll be like a Surgeon General warning or not. But the Surgeon General if the United States of America has issued a warning about social media, parents should take heed on this. 888-250-2091. All right, so Drive Advisor, guys, is a free program that we make at Schrock. We don't charge for it. There is no revenue model behind it. There are no ads. It's not ad supported. There's a saying that says, if you're not paying for the product, if you get something online, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. That is not the case here. We are not aggregating data to develop a better advertising profile for you. Maybe we should be. I don't know. Maybe we're missing a huge opportunity here. But Drive Advisor is just a free program that does a simple thing. It monitors the health of your hard drive. And in the event that your hard drive starts to slowly fail, which most hard drives do not fail suddenly, unless there's some kind of an event like a drop or a shock or something like that, most hard drives fail slowly over time. So if your hard drive starts to fail, Drive Advisor can step in and say, the hard drive is starting to fail, therefore, we need to tell you that your hard drive's health has dropped from 100%, which is perfect, to 99%, which is in effect a heart attack for a hard drive. Some people, I saw an alert this morning for a customer that has a Drive Advisor. Their drive was at 86% health. It went from 100 to 86%. That's like Dick Cheney in a hard drive as far as hearts go. I mean, that was bad. Like, they need to replace that like today, because if they boot it up again, it's going to drop lower and lower. And you get a new alert from Drive Advisor each time it drops lower. Now, there are two classes of customers that use Drive Advisor. There's Schrock customers that use it, somebody who's been into our service centers before. And then there's like that random dude in New York that uses it, okay? The alerts are different. So random dude in New York will get the automated email when his hard drive starts to fail. Kumbaya, everything is great. Schrock customers get the automated email, just like that. Also, they get a phone call when it's a C drive. When it's a main hard drive, we'll actually call you from the service center to let you know, hey, I want you to know your hard drive is failing. You need to get it in. This is serious. This isn't like, oh, I just got to get a couple files off it before I bring it in. This is like, shut it down and bring it in. Your hard drive is dying. If you end up in data recovery, that costs between $400 and $1,200 on average. You don't want to be in the data recovery lab. Let us clone it while we can still just clone it and get it back up and running, especially if it's under warranty. If you're under warranty, we call you and we say, and we'll do it for free. Please just bring it in. Can we schedule a free pickup for you to come get it so that we can bring it in and do the upgrade and do the repair for you? Please let us help you. Help me help you. Drive Advisor. Right now, I mentioned we have some coding going on with it. As you might imagine, Drive Advisor was first introduced, I think, in 2017. So that's over 6 years ago. And hard drive technology has come a long way since then. Back then, 6 years ago, hardly anybody had NVMe hard drives. Now that's pretty much all we sell. we've started to notice that some of the newer brands of NVMe hard drives, like the ones we put in some of our own computers, are not detected by Drive Advisor. It just says there's no hard drive. That's a problem, right? We want it to detect the hard drive. Why isn't it detecting the hard drive? Well, we have coders working on that right now to create an update for Drive Advisor that is going to not only detect these hard drives that we are missing, but also introduce a new feature for those of you on laptops called Battery Advisor. A lot of people don't realize that batteries wear out over time. This is one of the big reasons when you buy that new Tesla, the cheap ones, not the expensive one, but the cheap one, the battery is part of the frame. It's a non-removable component. It's literally part of the frame of the vehicle. So when the battery wears out, you have to throw the whole vehicle away. People don't realize that about electric cars. So that's what they have to do to bring the price down. Otherwise, you end up with a Model X, and then you're paying $100,000 for an electric car. Your laptop is no different, except we can replace the battery if you know it's going bad. If it starts to swell, that's almost too late. You don't want to have a rupture or a fire or something like that. So Drive Advisor is going to introduce this new Battery Advisor feature that's going to keep you up to date on the health of your battery as well. All good things coming from Josh over in the Papillion Service Center, working hard on getting that done for us, and we'll keep you updated on the coding progress. 888-250-2091. By the way, 15% of the hard drives that Drive Advisor has tested are bad. So literally there's a 15% chance, which doesn't sound like a lot until if you're buying lottery tickets, that's pretty high odds, right? 15% chance the computer that you have in your house right now has a bad hard drive. Just install Drive Advisor and check it out. It's free. Drive Advisor, because it's made in America. Drive Advisor. It's because Drive Advisor was taken. Okay, we had to buy the ER. They're both legitimate spellings. No, nobody's better than anybody else here. 888-250-2091. Got to take a quick break. Charlie and Patricia, your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the special section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier. So take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Thanks for sticking with us through the break there. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 4 locations to help you out when your computer's on the fritz, when you're looking for a new machine, when your hard drive crashes and you need the data back off of it, or if you're just looking for a technology partner that is actually going to help you, not make you feel stupid, not make you make an appointment and wait 2 weeks to get in to see us, Apple Store, or, have a bouncer at the door, Apple Store. I thought that was a pandemic thing, but the bouncer's still there. All right, 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program. Charlie, welcome to the show. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning. Nice to talk with you. 2 weeks A week ago, I did not hear your show. I did not have it on. 2 weeks ago, you had on there a special about turning in a computer for $300 off your laptop.
Yes, the ultimate upgrade.
Okay. I called the store this week. They said that ended the end of April.
It did.
You had it on your show 2 weeks ago, which was in May.
I did not. I'm sorry. I was here. I appreciate, I appreciate you listening, and I understand that sometimes when deadlines get missed, if there's confusion and genuine confusion about it, we've had a couple people, for example, who've called us up and said, hey, I emailed the shop and no one ever got back to me. And we can't find an email anywhere from this person, but we're not going to call him a liar. You're not going to tell him, hey, you didn't email us. We're going to let him in on the deal. So, if it's something where you're absolutely certain you heard it, maybe it was a previous show on Facebook, for example, in Lincoln, we're tape delayed by a week, for example, as well. But we usually account for that. We usually honor the deals a week after they expire just because of that. So we were honoring them into May, but we weren't talking about it in May anymore. But if you want to give us a call in the service center, I will be happy to get you taken care of, because I don't want to have anybody feel like they missed out or something because of a mistake that we made. Whether it was there or not, it doesn't matter. If that's the perception, we want to make sure we get you taken care of. So I've got your name here, Charlie, and which service center do you usually go to?
Papillion.
Okay. I will go ahead and reach out to Papillion. Jacob and Parker should be in there today, and then I will make sure that they're aware that you might be reaching out to take advantage of that here this afternoon.
Okay, I've got a Chromebook that I turn it on and the green light doesn't come on, so I think the power supply probably went out on it. So
yeah, and there's not really worth fixing.
No, I know that. That's the reason I wanted to get another one. I have a desktop at home, and I'm in an assisted living facility, so I'm looking for something to use here.
Gotcha. Okay, well, if you can't make it out today, if you want to just give us a call in the Papillion Service Center, we're open from noon to 5, and we'd be happy to take care of you there. Thank you for the call, Charlie. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the confusion on that. It's one of those things, like, we kind of joke about it in the service centers. One thing that's absolutely, a couple weeks ago, guys, I told you to call in and ask for the Billy Goat special. And some of you came into the service center and asked for the Billy Goat special. And my staff was dumbfounded. They were like, literally, my ops manager, who listens to the radio show, Parker, he sends me a text message from the senior tech chat on Signal, and it says, oh my gosh, what is the Billy Goat special? And everybody else is just laughing at this one guy who didn't listen to the radio show. It's like, you just outed yourself, buddy. So it was really funny. So thank you for everybody who did that. That was funny. So we do some funny stuff. Sometimes it goes back a couple weeks, but one of the things that's not funny is when somebody calls up or emails in and says, hey, I was trying to get into this deal and I couldn't because you didn't call me back. Now, if you're at Target or Walmart or JCPenney or someplace like that, and you miss the sale, and you go to the person at the counter and you say, I tried to get in, but the door was locked. And they're like, well, sorry, you have a person who wants to be your customer. You have a person who wants to do business with you. Now, there obviously has to be some line where you say, no more. We can't keep doing this forever. But when there's a legitimate thing like that, like when Charlie called in, I mean, why wouldn't you help him out? So that's kind of what makes Schrock a little bit different than maybe some of the larger competitors out there. We're big enough that we have the resources to give you great products and great service and opportunities and deals and actual product research. We're going to do a segment on surge protectors here soon because we're trying to find a new one. We can't get the Audible Alert surge protector anymore. And so we're trying to find a replacement for it. And so we ordered all these samples in from China, and they're all garbage. Literally, we're going to light them on fire. We're going to hook up really high draw equipment to them, and we're going to test to see if they actually turn off the way they're supposed to, or if they just burst into flames. I think that's going to be a really fun video to do. The guys are looking forward to it. And it's a slow time of year, so let's light some stuff on fire in the service centers. I'm sure the landlords are fine with that. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program. You can also reach out at 888-250-2091. One more quick break here, and Patricia, I promise your call coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. As we mentioned earlier in the program, iOS 15.6 is out. And once again, this seems to happen every time. Every time. Battery issues. Oh no, the new iOS update is killing my battery. What's going on? Well, it could be that you have a broke old iPhone and it has a bad battery. That could be part of it. Number two, one of the things you have to do when you have an iOS update, it's almost like you have to leave your phone on the charger for a full day. In the background, when an iOS update comes out, there's the update itself, and Apple has been big on this ever since, going all the way back to the original Macs. The computer will tell you something is done, but in the background, it is still ferociously working to get it done, and it's not done. So file transfers are a great example. When we do data recoveries on Macs and we're doing a file transfer on a Mac, it'll tell us it's done, and we look down at the hard drive and the lights are all still blinking like mad. You go to eject the drive, and it won't, it takes forever to eject because it's finishing the file transfer that it said it was done. So you got the impression that your Mac is just stupid fast. Well, it's not. It's just as fast as any other computer, maybe a little faster with that new chip in there, but just as fast as any other computer as far as data storage and things like that. So, with your iPhone, it's no different. When it says the update is finished, the update is not finished. There's all kinds of optimizations that are happening in the background. There are apps that are no longer compatible that have to be removed from the phone or updated. And the phone is going methodically through everything on the device and updating it and checking it and optimizing it and going through all that. And that takes a lot of battery life. The side effect of this is heat. So if your phone is hot after you do the iOS update and your battery seems to be going down really fast, it's because the phone is optimizing all this stuff in the background. Best thing you can do is not put it in a pocket, not put it into an enclosed space where it overheats, and just get it on a charger and let it sit for a few hours and get its stuff done. If the phone is not hot and the battery seems to be running out all the time, chances are you have a bad battery, and you can check the battery health and the options there to see kind of what the degradation of the battery is according to Apple. And iPhone batteries can be replaced for the most part. 888-250-2091. Patricia, thank you for your patience. I appreciate you waiting on hold there. How can I help you on Compute This?
Oh, sure. Thank you, Thor. There's a couple of questions I have for you. First of all, I was thinking about buying a computer from you,
Okay.
But the thing is, I would be going off to music school on the East Coast. If I needed service, is there anyone out there that's going to be able to service the computer?
This is a great question because, you know, when you buy a custom computer from somewhere, you always have the concern that if something goes wrong, you're not going to be able to get the custom parts that you need to fix it. And the beautiful thing about Schrock's modular, are you thinking laptop or desktop, first of all?
Well, probably laptop just because it's more portable for college.
Okay, perfect. So Asus, a lot of people don't realize this, whether you buy an HP or a Dell, all the motherboards are for those laptops are made in the same factory. And they're made by the same company. And they're made by a subsidiary of Asus. And that's why we sell Asus laptops, because the Asus laptop is what everybody wants in a laptop's board. But HP says if we take that port off, we can save a nickel per unit. Well, you get all the ports on an Asus, so it's nice because it's compatible with just about everything. Secondarily, the parts are widely available in the U.S. There are U.S. part depots, unlike Acer, for example, or Lenovo, that do not have U.S. part depots. That's all China, straight out of China. There's U.S. part depots for it. So number one, you have a warranty on the unit. So if anything goes wrong with it, you can ship it back to us, and we will fix it and ship it back to you. So there's a warranty there as well. Number two, we also have the Schrock desk available. So if it's a software situation, we can fix it over the Schrock desk for you under that warranty as well. Number three, from a security perspective, distance doesn't matter. We can still secure the laptop and keep you safe just as if you were living right here in town.
Okay. Is there any difference if I were to have a desktop then?
No, the desktop is the same thing basically, except the parts that we use in the desktop in the modular design concept are universal parts. So they're picked for very specific reasons, but if you took out, that's why our core upgrades works, that you can do that on our computers, because you can take that board out and you can literally put in any board you want into that computer and it will fit and it will work. The power supply, you can put in any power supply you want and it will fit and it will work. Same thing with the hard drives and the DVD drives and the fans, and everything inside is designed so that there's a wide variety, an assortment of components available. And what that does for us and for you is it allows us to have customization options to make that computer perfect for what you're doing with it. It also allows you to get parts for a long, long time going forward. We have some of our holiday specials from 2012 that are still in use today. That's like 11 years.
Yeah.
So that's a long time for a computer to be. That's a dyno computer.
Okay, and then one other question I have for you, Thor. Do you have any recommendation for the best computer to create music videos?
Gotcha. So best is a subjective thing. So there's easiest, and the easiest would be an Apple, honestly. The best would be Adobe Elements or Adobe Premiere Pro. And that is extremely difficult to learn to use. So there's basically, are you looking for like an easy creation or a hard one? So I use open source software to make the videos.
I'm not the greatest at computers currently. I hope to be, though.
Okay. Well, then
I probably ought to start on an Apple. That's probably more my speed for now anyway.
Gotcha. And if you do end up on a PC, there's a free open source program called Shotcut. You shoot with a camera, Shotcut.
Okay.
And it's a video editor program that's completely open source and free. And it gives you all. That's what, when you see the quickie videos that I clip up from the radio show, I'm using Shotcut to do that.
I've seen videos where they kind of synchronize the showing of different pictures with the beat of the music.
Oh yeah.
And it's able to do that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, there's tons of video editors, especially for mobile devices, that'll do that kind of stuff. So and it's not hard to use. It's like literally here are the pictures and here's the music, and it just goes and just does it for you. It's kind of nice. It doesn't actually make that sound, but it does it for you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for all your expertise today, Mr. Thor.
Well, thank you, Patricia. I appreciate you taking the time to give us a call today on Compute This. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. OpenAI, they're the company that makes ChatGPT, which is, of course, the chatbot that's been creating all the rage and made it so that, NVIDIA's stock has exploded through the roof because everyone's like, NVIDIA makes the chips for this, so and they're selling not graphics cards but processing cards for these giant server farms that are running all these graphics cards to make things like OpenAI work. So OpenAI, as part of when you ask OpenAI a question, it's a learning AI. So why are they making it available for free to everybody in the world? Remember what I said earlier, that if you are not paying for the product, you are the product? Well, you're the product. Every time you ask OpenAI a question, when you talk to ChatGPT, it is learning from its interaction with you on how to interact with you in the future and, in general, how to interact with other people in the future. The information that it can provide you may or may not be age appropriate because it may or may not know your age. So, for example, you could ask for, and there are guardrails in place right now that prevent this from happening on the widely available versions. But you could ask for information about weapons or information about, self-harm, for example, suicide. How many ways are there to kill yourself? Questions like that, that you just don't want kids asking. If a kid asks that question, that's not a good thing, right? Well, in Europe, there are very, very strict data laws on what a company can and cannot do with a user's data, and that a user owns their data and that the user can choose to purge their data. And obviously, if the OpenAI system needs your data to learn how to respond to you and others better in the future, those are data sets that you don't throw away. You keep them. You're aggregating data. That's why you're giving your product away for free, so you can aggregate all this usage data and improve the product. Well, in Europe, if they're not going to allow that, OpenAI has come out now and said, well, maybe because of all these AI regulations, maybe we should just cease operating in the European Union. While AI experts, this is according to ZDNet, AI experts are calling for regulations, OpenAI is considering exiting a continent that answered that call. Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, said the company could stop all operations in the European Union if they can't comply with impending artificial intelligence regulations. During a stop of what he called the OpenAI World Tour, Altman addressed the University College London to speak on the company's advancements and was asked about the EU's proposed AI regulations. The CEO explained that OpenAI has issues with how the regulations are written at this time. According to Time, the regulations, which are still being revised, may designate the company's ChatGPT and GPT-4 as a high-risk piece of software requiring increased safety compliance. So here is the thing. Throughout history, technology has improved the quality of our life. The horseless carriage. We have the joke about the buggy whip makers. Well, those poor buggy whip makers. They probably still have a union out there. It's probably still a federal program to support the buggy whip, guys. But over time, as time marches on, new technologies replace old technologies. And generally, that is a progressive kind of, not progressive in a political sense, but progressive in we're making progress forward and our lives are getting better by the introduction of technology. Now, there have been times when certain technologies have been introduced that I'm going to call dual purpose. Think of the atomic bomb, for example. Our world is a better place because we have nuclear energy. But we also have all these nuclear missiles pointed at each other that could just erase the entire world in an afternoon if someone so decided to do so. So is the trade-off worth it? There's some good and there's some bad. AI is no different and no less threatening. It is going to be the automation. When you're standing at the grocery store, like I'm standing at Hy-Vee and they close half the dang self-check lanes because I guess people are stealing stuff. So they force everyone to go through half the self-check lanes, and they didn't increase the number of cashiers back to what they had before they had self-check lanes. So you're standing in long lines at the grocery store all of a sudden. That's not great service. So if you're going to have automated checkout lanes, open them. And if people are stealing stuff, well, that's a problem. Obviously, you're going to have to find a way to deal with that. maybe through better technology, maybe make sure that those checkout lanes aren't as slow as molasses, maybe maintenance your systems a little bit so that when you beep something, it actually beeps. When you push it over the scanner, you have to wait like 2 seconds and it's like beep. But then, of course, you passed it over twice. So then it goes beep, beep. And you're like, gah. And you got to call the person over to have them take one off the order. You know, it's a pain in the tuchus, right? So technology can be frustrating. But generally, the general direction is an improvement. And then when there's an issue, like people stealing at the checkout lanes, we try to adjust. We try to impose new rules and new regulations to try to bend the current reality to fit the technology that's available. Then the technology, by the time reality catches up with the technology that's available, there's a whole new set of technology out there, and the whole conversation was moot. That's what's going to happen with ChatGPT, because people think that the next iteration of AI is going to be, you know, either Skynet, like we're going to take over the world, or you're going to have, the cashierless system where you just push the cart through and the AI figures out everything in the cart and beeps it all and then charges your bill. We're going to see it introduced in little bits and pieces, doing small tasks here and there. Think about how much more efficient the federal government would be if they introduced artificial intelligence just to process paperwork. How many human beings are literally shifting a piece of paper from the left pile and stamping it and putting it in the right pile? How many? How many human beings are doing social media checks on people who are trying to immigrate to America? That could all be done through AI, reliably. But the problem is, we don't want the people to lose their jobs. We don't want, well, they're federal jobs, so we're kind of paying for them. So we kind of, as taxpayers, want them to lose their jobs, but not because we don't like them or they're not good people. And people are like, well, you're going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job because of AI. Well, there's going to be new jobs created because of AI. And this has been the case of creative destruction through the beginning of time. So while I'm cautious about how excited I get about what AI is going to do for us in the future, because it could go down a dark path if you let it, I'm also not afraid of it. I'm not fearful that AI is going to, it is the Antichrist that's going to end. I literally read an article about how AI is the Antichrist, and it's talked about in the Bible. And I'm like, oh, give me a break. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. One situation of technology, actually an old technology getting replaced with new technology. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think. AM radio. Ford announced a few weeks ago that they're getting rid of all the AM radios in all of their cars, not just the electric ones. They'd already gotten rid of them in the Mach-E's and the Lightnings. But they're going to get rid of them in all the gas-powered cars, too. Obviously, that was a little concerning for me sitting in this chair. I'm like, guess we better up our social media game a little bit. Yeah, that was a problem, right? Well, Ford heard from their customers, and this is why, do we need Congress to step in and require all vehicles to have AM radios? We got enough requirements and regulations. Let the consumers do the work. So the consumers stepped up to Ford and said, we want the AM radio. You sell a lot of pickup trucks, and a lot of those pickup trucks are in rural areas where FM signals don't reach. The only radio they've got is AM radio. And don't give me this garbage about the electric motors interfering with the AM signal. Every time there's a lightning strike or you drive under a high voltage line, you're in the signal anyway. We're used to it, okay? That's AM radio. Well, Ford announced now they're going to put the AM radios back in every car, because this was happening in the 2024 model line. They're going to put the AM radios back in all the vehicles. And on top of that, this made me chuckle and laugh, because ask yourself, why were they removing the AM radios in the first place? Because all the Lightnings and the Mach-E's that would have had terrible interference from their electric motors, you see, and that's why we had to remove the AM radio from the vehicle. They will also, so if you own a Lightning or a Mach-E and you're listening right now on the iHeartRadio app or on your smartphone, or you're streaming on Facebook because you can't listen because you don't have an AM radio, you're going to get your AM radio back through a software update. Let me translate that. You always had an AM radio. They just disabled it through software. Why would you do that? Why would you take a function away from somebody, even if you thought no one's using this stupid AM radio anymore? Why would you take it away when you're still putting the hardware in the car? It's not saving you any money. That was the whole point. Everybody thought it was a money-saving thing. Ford wasn't saving any money because all the AM radios just get turned back on. So why were they turning off the AM radios? 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Got to take our final break of the program. B and Joanne, your calls are coming up next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation, the modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, final segment of the show here on Compute This. But as I promised, because I wasn't here last week, I was on vacation, okay, I get a week, all right? I'm back today on a holiday weekend. What do you want from me? Made Roger come in. What do you want from him? No, made the guy in Des Moines come in. What do you want from him? Oh, golly, I'm a jerk. But no, we're going to do an aftershock. And I've got some stories, guys. There are some stories from vacation. My wife has a beautiful Lincoln Navigator. I mean, it is just a beautiful vehicle. It is the high-end package. It's got the leather interior, the whole bit. And it was so plush and luxurious that even the black bears of the Smoky Mountain National Forest decided that they wanted to get in and check it out. Yep, we had a bear in the car. That was fun. Yeah, and my special needs daughter, she scared the bear. I'm yelling at the bear, and she scared the bear away. So I'll tell you all the bear stories and the vacation stories and everything during the aftershock coming up next here. That happens on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Give me about 6 minutes to reset here after the program's over. All right, let's get into those phones here. We just got about 4 minutes left. B, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Good morning, sir. Thanks for taking my call. I talked my real good friend into buying a whole unit from you. Okay. We went to your Lincoln store, brought it home, got it all set up, and it keeps kicking out the internet. Well, moved the router and all that kind of stuff to be closer, but we're still trying to be wireless. Well, the interesting thing is her Roku never kicks off at all from the router, but she's still having trouble with the internet kicking off. The other day, she could use it all day. or for long periods of time, and then it goes to 10 minutes, and then the
drops.
internet kicks. So what's wrong?
Okay, is it a laptop or a desktop?
Desktop, top
Okay.
of your line.
All right, so basically, whichever desktop you buy, we use the same Wi-Fi cards in all of them. And so sometimes what can happen is if the Wi-Fi card, if the driver is not working properly, we just have to uninstall and reinstall the driver to restore the full functionality and fix that issue for you. That's something that we can do over the Schrock desk. You don't have to come in for that. It gets a little tricky when we drop the internet, but we can do it over the Schrock desk. Number two is if there is an issue, because if you're losing wireless and everything else in the house is fine, it's the wireless adapter. There's something going on there, either software or hardware. We can try the software first because that's an easier fix. But if it is hardware, we would be happy to replace the Wi-Fi card, put a new one in just to make sure that we get it working the way you want it to work. Because if there is something wrong with the card, obviously we don't want to have a defective product out there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the call, B. I appreciate it.
We'll try the Schrock desk first.
Yep, that's what I would do. Let's get the software done first, and if it's not software, then it's hardware. But either way, we'll get it figured out. We'll get it replaced right quick for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, B. Joanne, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hello.
Hello, Joanne. How are you?
Oh, this is Carol Ann.
Oh, Carol
And so
Ann. Sorry.
that's okay. I've been in being entertained by your wonderful experiences. Yes, I had this computer built by Schrock during the Christmas promotions, and up until recently when all the programs and everything disappeared, I had to have help, and Austin was really great about helping me get everything back on the screen. Now, my question is that before everything disappeared, I don't know how else to word it because Austin couldn't figure out what happened. On the front home screen was Google, Chrome, and underneath of it, it said Carol Ann.
Yep.
The other one was for another person. However, I do not know how to get those two back onto the home page, the home screen.
Okay.
Can you give me any information?
Gotcha. Have you logged back into your Google account yet with your user Google email address and your password?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So it sounds like there were shortcuts that were placed on the desktop to basically take you to your email. And then they labeled the email with different names. And that's something we can definitely do for you. It would just take a couple seconds, Carol. It's something that we could easily do over the Schrock desk. It's a little complex for me to talk you through it. It's creating a new shortcut, but then we want to rename the shortcut after that. So it's not hard. It's just there's a lot of steps. Do you have time this afternoon? We're open from noon to 5. If you want to give us a call, we can go ahead and do that over the Schrock desk for you and just set those up for you. There's no charge for that. It's super easy to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd be happy to get that taken care of.
Yeah, that would be great. I didn't think about that. It's like, well, how do I put that on there? And then you were talking, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to call him.
Oh, yeah,
He'll
it's
have
easy.
an answer.
We got you covered, Caroline. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate you joining us here on the program. I mentioned at the start of the show that there was a Surgeon General warning regarding social media use. And we all know kids use social media, and we all know kids are using social media probably younger than they should be. The generally accepted thought is that social media is not great for kids. That is true in some cases. In other cases, there have been some benefits shown for kids. But the thing that blew my mind was 95% of children aged 13 to 17 are using social media. Nearly all of them, 95% of children. Almost 40% of children age 8 to 12 are using social media. I have to tell you guys, maybe I'm being old school here, but my 16-year-old, he has a YouTube account, but that's it. Like, he can watch videos and stuff and share videos with friends. He doesn't have a Facebook account. He doesn't have a Twitter. He doesn't get involved in all that stuff. From a self-esteem perspective, we just don't want to have all the negative effects of that. But shocking number. Surgeon General is warning that parents need to be aware of their kids' social media use. Patricia, you're the winner. Congratulations. We'll get a hold of you to get you your $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. And we'll see you all again next week for another edition of Compute This.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, your home for made in the USA furniture. This is